obviously our first horrors come in childhood.
Exactly.
In various ways. Whether it's the older kid who convinces you that a bogeyman lives in the building that really houses a pump or something, or whatever it is. And I wondered, maybe it'd be interesting to learn in each of your cases if you had ones like that you remember that were striking, or maybe you were unusually susceptible as kids.
I was pretty susceptible, but in addition to the bogeyman outside the window, I was susceptible to war scares. I remember propaganda comic books and things like that scared the hell out of me. And I remember John Cameron Swayze announcing that the Russians had the bomb, you know, when I was first watching The Tube. Those were the things that got to me. And I remember the bombers flying over the Bronx where I grew up, and blackouts and things like that.
Yes.
And those scared the hell out of me, inordinately, I think.
I was scared by those ingeniously racist posters that showed Japanese with rat bodies coming out of sewers.
Right. Wow.
Remember those during the war in the post office?
Well, these comic books had people bursting into homes and terrorizing the kids and eventually shooting everybody in the place while Dad was off at work. But those things scared the hell out of me, which is maybe why at least with my zombie films, I have a kind of a sociopolitical underbelly in them. You know, in other words, I don't know if I find it necessarily frivolous to just go out and be scared. I don't really, because I'm looking forward to Creepshow, which is a project that we're going to do together, and which is
Just very
scare.
Yeah, just get in there and try to scare people. That's all. That's fun. That's fun.
So, Levin, were you scared? Do you remember as a kid
I've
what
been
scared
sitting
you?
here trying to think, but I don't recall being scared at all. I think I was a very brave kid. I guess.
Whereas now you're scared.
Now I'm scared of everything.
I remember never being afraid of the dark. I don't know why people were. But I never understood sometimes why other kids had to sleep with the lights on.
I had to have a light.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you think would get you if the light went on?
I didn't even really want to consider it, but what it might be. But I was sure that I would see it before it got me, and that probably my mind would crack open. I think as a kid I was really, you know, worried a lot about going over the high side and into Banana Land and never getting back. I was very afraid of that.
Really?
As a kid, it wasn't so much being grabbed by something from the closet, so much as seeing it sort of coming toward me, you know, and knowing there'd be no escape.
What?
It turned out to be my father-in-law.
Your father-in-law? Good of you to admit that. Can you remember when you first read something that made your hair stand up?
Oh, I can remember something. I remember this great Bennett Cerf anthology that I got when I was about 10 called Great Tales of Terror and the Supernatural. And I really burrowed into that book. And there was some of it was so scary I could barely read it. And it was a lot of fun. I remember.
I was prompted to go read the H.G. Wells version of War of the Worlds after seeing the movie. And
I love that film when I was a kid.
And the description in Wells, which of course the Wells was at first disappointing because it was nothing like the movie, but then I started to get into that, and the description of the aliens in that was the first thing that really scared me on the printed page.
That was Dracula. That's
Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula.
Sure.
You mean the movie?
No, the book.
The book?
book.
Yeah. I never read that as a
it's
kid.
That's a great thriller.
Much scarier than any of the movie versions today.
It is, isn't it? Yes, there are wonderful things in the book. You wonder why they didn't do
never
for the movie. There's a wonderful scene of that captainless boat comes ashore and a dog is seen to leap off and go into.
Right.
Yeah.
Which all those incidents have been included one time or another.
They've never
Did the
all
boat and
been
the-
put together, I don't think,
No.
in
The
one film.
Jourdan version was pretty true to
That was-
content.
yeah, I thought
but
that was the
it
best.
Yeah.
Mood, there was an interesting one with Palance a couple of
I
years
heard that
before
was good. I never saw
I've
it.
never seen that one. Now, the one that you were talking about was the one that was the PBS one, right? Louis
That was
Jourdan.
very
true to
stylish.
content. That was
Yeah.
Louis Jourdan.
Yeah,
that was
as
a
the
nice one.
Count.
Do you envy people who have seen ghosts, as I do?
I don't know, not at all.
No. I do. I would wonder if for any reason you had gone out of your way to stay overnight in Longleat or one of those
We go out of our way
haunted
not to. I think.
places. I really envy people who've seen them. I can do without seeing a UFO, but I certainly would like to see a ghost.
I'd like to see a UFO.
Yeah, I'd like.
Yeah, I'd rather see a UFO, I think,
What?
than a ghost.
With
Yeah.
an ghost. How about a ghost getting out of a UFO?
There's an idea.
But you see, in our business, if we saw one of those things, we'd never tell anyway, because they just
First of all,
say,
they never believe
"Oh,
it.
well, it was Straub."
That's right.
He's got a book
crazy.
coming out.
Sure. Who is the market, to put it crassly, for horror? Are there age groups that you're playing to?
When I began, I had an idea that it was mainly younger people. But I don't think that's true anymore. And I think a lot of it has to do with the nature of the book. If the book is adult and sophisticated and has the elements that readers look for in fiction, then I think people of all kinds can read it. But generally, I think it's 18 to 25 or 15 to 25, something like that.
15 to 25. Can you see that in the line outside the theater? That just
For the
In
films,
the
I
case
think
of
it's
movies,
different.
it's
in films,
yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's a lot tougher to scare young people, I think.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's pretty hard to shock them, which is, I think, probably one of the elements that at least has to be lurking around in there. And it's also, I think, just on an experiential level. I think the more experience you have with things, I don't know. Maybe I'm going too far off the deep end. Maybe it's just that for those of us that were around before there were all the answers that there are now, there were more fears. So maybe that.
I think young people tend to grab onto horror in a more natural way because it does have that quality of the roller coaster ride, the sort of big harmless scare. You don't see too many little old ladies getting off the bullet or Magic Mountain, that sort of thing. And there aren't very many, say, senior citizens that use their golden age of pass to go see Zombie or Piranha or something like that. They want to see something else. I think that young people can go see a horror movie or pick up a horror novel and not feel personally assaulted by it because they feel safe in their own sense of health and well-being. And at the same time, I think that a lot of kids feel like outsiders. They may feel a little monstrous themselves, and they can go see a movie like, for instance, Night of the Living Dead, and they may feel that, you know, that they have some problems with their peers or whatever it is. But the sheriff in that movie, somebody says, "Well, Chief, are they hard to kill?" And the sheriff says, "Ah, no, they're dead. They're all messed up." You know? That makes a kid feel kind of good inside. It makes them look
Why wouldn't it? What about the so-called moral content of horror films and books? Do you ever consciously put one in or concern yourself with that at all?
I think it's, in general, horror is almost by tradition highly moral. In fact, to the detriment of a lot of it, because people spend too much time bringing things back to a kind of normality, which possibly shouldn't have existed in the first place. But I think that it's always been viewed as allegory, and there's always a kind of a moral statement underneath it somewhere. I mean, we're always exorcising something that's either been a part of
the
us.
monster gets destroyed.
The monster gets destroyed.
Unless you want to make a sequel, then you
It's
leave
a
it out.
celebration of daily life, really. Because when the intruder comes in, or the bizarre element comes into daily life, then it's frightening, must be pushed away.
I think that one of the things that's so unsettling about Rosemary's Baby is the fact that a kind of normality surfaces again at the end that makes the reader very uneasy, because this is motherhood, and yet the child is the devil, or the son of the devil.
I do like to keep a little element unreconstructed at the end, a little of the horror still loose, because I think that makes the work sort of stay in the mind more.
Yes, I
feel
would
that all the
always like
knots
that.
aren't quite tied
You
up.
realize there are only 30 pages left. You don't want everything to come right. again.
Rosemary's Baby was really landmark in that way, I think, in terms of
Thank you.
really turned a corner in terms of as you said, a new normality at the end, rather than what was normal in the first 20 pages, coming back to that.
When we realize what's happened and that the child is not going to be used for a human sacrifice, as Rosemary has thought all along, at that point I begin rooting for Rosemary to throw the kid out a window. And there's that moment in the book where there's silence and Rosemary says, "You're rocking him too fast." And you say, "Oh no," because you know she's going to just take over and raise the kid. Yeah.